Good old Melbourne 24K here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This was actually the first Melbourne floor plan, and a lot would argue it's probably still the best one, although that 24L with the full wall slide, I am a sucker for full wall slides. They're the same but different. They both have the same chassis, they're both the same size, they're just laid out a little different. So let's take a peek at her and see which one fits you better. I think one of the best parts about pretty much any motorhome is that unlike a towable RV, a motorhome pretty much has to be fully functional when the slide out is closed. You know, you have to be able to get through the floor and navigate. You need to be able to access, if not all of, at least the vast majority of your storage to make sure this thing remains functional. Because otherwise, when you're going down the road, if you have to stop, you know, find a parking space that's wide enough, open slide outs every single time, you're not going to have a really fun time. You know, you need to maintain bathroom access, which is one of the best parts of a motorhome, is being able to access that in transit. Now, a rear bed slide here in this one, you do kind of lose the mattress because the base of the bed does have to fold to allow for the bed to slide in. Other than that, though, you're pretty good. Some people like the ability to sleep in transit. Some people don't care. And that's where that front entertainment center can or cannot be a deal breaker at different times. Now, I've always been a pretty big fan of the Melbourne series, but the new updated decor they have in this generation, it is sharp. This has always been, you know, a well-crafted series, and hands down for me personally, despite the small size of this little, I don't know, mini home, whatever you want to call it, this has been one of my very favorite series to drive, and for the sole reason that it has one of the biggest, most spacious front cabs I've ever been in. This is one of the only motorhomes in which I've ever had to slide the seat forward to comfortably reach the pedals, and I'm a tall guy with long legs. A lot of my height is from my legs. But what's cool about Melbournes is they do something that is normally relegated to the realm of Class A motorhomes, and that is that they have these, you know, 360, well not 360, I guess 180 front seats. Because in a Class C, you lose the cab when you get to your destination by and large, but in this Melbourne, you kind of regain it. So what's odd is this 24-foot Melbourne has more effective living space than a lot of 28-foot traditional Class Cs. Kind of cool that way. Now, as I mentioned right when the first part of the video started, when the slide out was closed, we tried something different here. And bottom line, guys, it never seems to matter how we have something in stock at Haylett RV. It's always wrong. But you know what, we thought, why not? It's like very few dealers ever do this overhead entertainment center. But Jayco has to offer it for a reason, so we figured there's somebody out there that's looking for it. We want to try something different. Now, in transit, there's a plus and a minus to everything. This gives you more cabinet storage space. In a little motorhome, cabinet storage space is really worth a lot. But remember, what it does do is, in transit, it kind of makes it a little harder just to, you know, flop down and sleep real quick, unless you bump the rear bed slide. But that doesn't really bother me, because the bed slide goes out the back of the camper. It's not like it goes out the side like your dinette slide, so you don't have to worry about the depth of your parking space. Usually, front to back space is not the problem when you're like, if you stop at a rest stop or something like that. So I think this is the smarter decision, personally, unless you're like trying to sleep little kids and stuff too. Now, if you're grandpa and grandma, you do maintain the dinette as a quick little bonus sleeper. This has got an easy up-down dinette system we'll talk about in a second. But I think the storage is really critical, and I also like what it does with the TV center here. So what's cool, though, is they really opened up every little nook and cranny they could with this thing. You really don't lose anything. There's just tons of storage going on up here. It goes all the way around. But what's neat, I looked at it and said, yeah, but then you can't get to the TV. And I peeked around the side and went, what? Wait a minute. Boom! Bam! I mean, you can still get to everything right up there. And I think this side's easier to get to than that side. So I think they really did a heck of a job here making it easy for 100% storage access. Now, one of the things that's made me shy about front entertainment centers and models in the past is when they build the entertainment center in, usually you had a hard time seeing up here in these front corners. Now, I hope you never have an RV leak, and Jayco's gone through some pretty extreme lengths to make sure you don't, assuming very minimal user maintenance on your part. But you couldn't actually see the front of the cab. You couldn't see the interior wall to see if there had been any level of water penetration. And I can still fully see everything here. So God forbid, guys, God forbid you do have some kind of problem 5-6 years from now. You'll be able to see it, arrest it, stop it, correct it before it becomes a major issue. And I think that's smart. Now, up here, the front cab area, these seats have been able to swivel around on Melbournes for a while now, or actually, as our friends down under would actually say, as a Melbourne, which is, you know, I think it's funny that in America we pronounce words our way and tell other countries their words are wrong. But hey, that's another, as Winnie the Pooh would say, that's an entirely different story for an entirely different day. But the problem is, the seats on these things were low. But now these seats are pretty normal height, because basically, guys, you got a booster seat. But, you know, silly as that sounds, that's basically what it is, but it works. It gets the butt of the seat up where you can actually sit and get up and down on it comfortably without having to, you know, be a mountain climber. Especially a tall guy like me, those things were almost all the way down to the floor, because when you twist the seat around, you want to take that booster seat off. But it's genius what they did. Now, like almost anything in this category, you got this like all-in-one infotainment system that slices, dices, juliennes. It does a little bit of everything, and those are pretty common, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that. If you would like more information, then by all means, please give our team here at Haylett RV a call. So the Easy Up-Down Dream Dinette, they've gone with a little different mechanism this year. It's still very simple to put up and down, but look at this. There is nothing smashing you in the knees anymore, and as a guy with long legs, like I mentioned before, I love this, because I can't stand when stuff is constantly smashing me in the legs. Now the other thing, carpetless, totally carpetless, with the exception of the carpet square that I wipe my feet off when I come in here. So it's just very handy keeping this clean. A lot of coaches, either, you know, towable or motorized, this is a common flaw or oversight in the RV business, is they'll go carpetless here, but not under the dinette, and that's where you're going to have the majority of your food and drink spills. So this makes the most sense to me. Now, here's another thing I like to talk about. This can actually seatbelt more people than it can sleep. And even if it didn't have the front overhead entertainment center, if this was still just the front over cab bunk, it could still seat everyone that it can sleep. And that's a major oversight by a lot of brands, because brands are not required to have rear-facing seatbelts in here. Now, not only does Jayco take on the federal liability of adding seatbelts, but they exceed federal mandates by 10%. One of my guys inside, his name's Mike, he's very good with this number, and I'm shooting from memory here. I think they pull this at like 10,000 pounds for 60 seconds or something like that, and maybe it's longer. If you want clarification on that, call and ask here from Mike. He's very good with that number. But the point is, they are really concerned about your family's safety, and you'll see more of that with the lighting system when we go outside. But you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seatbelt positions in a coach that's really designed to, especially at the front entertainment center, to take care of 2 and maybe 3 with a guest or something like that. So what's nice is it gives you the flexibility to be able to move comfortably and seat where you want. Full access to the under bench storage, which is glorious. Obviously the table can remove, but all of the table and countertops are thermal foil, so they're sealed edge and pressed membrane, so that water can't penetrate through here and cause issues, including this handy little removable stand right there. Now, you'll notice that all of our overhead doors are self-strutted, so you don't have to juggle them open with your head. And what's nice is they can really flip up out of the way, because this has a 7-foot interior. I mean, I'm 6'3", marching around in here, and even in the bathroom, I got more than enough headroom to be real comfortable in here. The Melbourne series is very good about putting in the big Max Air fans to get some awesome airflow, which is fantastic if you're boondocking. For space and efficiency reasons, we don't have a traditional oven. However, we do have this giant convection microwave here. It cooks faster and it introduces less heat into the RV, and you can actually bake in that. You got a little thing of instant cookies, fire it up, you're gonna be fine. Giant stainless sink. Now, waterproof countertop with recessed stove top and extra countertop kick out over here can actually give you a fair kick of prep space in this little guy. And you do have some, I like how wide these drawers are. These are very, very large drawers that you can stuff a lot into, and they don't waste an ounce of space. I love that. They just don't waste anything. You may also notice all of our heat ducts are in the cabinets, so this stays carpetless and easy cleaning, because you don't have little nooks and crannies where junk can fall into the floor there. The floor vents, as it were. So the bathroom, the shower here, this is all on the lower deck, so you do have plenty of headroom. And that radius shower, notice it's actually not just like a cheap curtain, but an actual track door there. Makes it very easy to have some elbow room when you're up here. And look at even double lighting here in the bathroom. They go pretty aggressive on the lighting in these. Stainless even here in the bathroom. Kitchen matching countertop. They don't scale down to T-molded here to cut a corner. This is an easy thing to miss because it's actually recessed into the wall, this little medicine cabinet right there. You don't even realize how deep that is. It looks like just a mirror right here. So we do have a full sliding privacy door for the rear bedroom. We have full overhead storage above the bed, but real quick, I want to point out these massive, oversized, opposing bedroom windows. And you do also have cross breeze windows in the headboard area of the bed slide out, below all that overhead storage. You can always get good airflow in here. Extra little bonus closet in the corner, because why not? Why waste anything? And extra little bonus drawers here, but the bulk of your bedroom storage is going to take place right here. You've got a big closet. This is plenty of space for, you know, a couple people to run around. Those are like some floor mats and whatnot for up in the front cab. We're actually we're quality testing this camper coach right now here in our service center. Before things go out for sale, we run every appliance through a full burn. You know, we full quality check everything so that we can proactively address anything that may have slipped through the factory level to ensure that we've done everything possible to keep this thing in top shape and working order before you take it home. Because the number one thing that you don't want to do, and we don't want you to have to do, is bring this RV back right after you purchase it for wrench work. That's stupid, and we don't want that to happen. So we do try to proactively screen everything for you because we have the largest service center for a long way around. Let's hop outside, learn a little more how she's put together. So one of the first things to talk about anytime we're looking at anything Jayco is the fact that they have pretty much double the warranty in their market segments of about anybody else. That is an exceptional thing that they put out there with twice the coverage. You know, you've got twice the miles because anytime you have a motor on something, they always put a mile delimiter on it. So this has 2-year, 24,000 mile coverage. Though if you can crack that 24,000 miles, frankly, I'll shake your hand because I've not seen somebody even come close. There's a lot of little things they do to accomplish that. And I can't do this thing full justice with one of my you know, fly around the outside video tours here. Everybody has different questions on these. I can't possibly cover every single thing. So if you have additional questions, man, just give us a call. But we're going to start with the nose cap up here. This is something that Jayco started doing in their Class Cs for a while now. And it's easily misconstrued. If you look real close, and it's harder to tell in this video, it's easier to tell in person. But you can see how this nose cap skin right here, it sticks out further than that. That's because there is a full wall construction below that nose cap, and then the entire cap that is seamless sleeves over top of that. If anyone has ever seen an old Class C out there, then they know the answer was generally not if, but where it leaked. Well, it's really darn hard to have a water penetration in something that doesn't have seams. You know, just logically, that's a difficult thing to do. Now, you may notice Mr. Norm up there in the cab area. He's checking through it. You can see we're in our shop right now. Like I said, inside, we go through and we fully quality inspect everything before it goes out. So I'm kind of borrowing some time for Mr. Norm here, but I've had a lot of things going on. I had to get things recorded where I could. You can see we are on this sweet Mercedes chassis, and I'm not even exaggerating how well I love the ride and handling on this. Quick little note on this, it seems to throw a lot of people off. There's actually 2 disconnects on this. There's the house battery disconnect and then a separate chassis battery disconnect, which is down kind of by the feet of the driver's area. People seem to miss that one and end up with dead batteries somewhere. Morning, Mr. Stute. You're fine, buddy. Don't have a panic attack. Brad Pitt, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, he's camera shy this morning. So, there are a couple distinctive differences between a Melbourne and a Melbourne Prestige Edition. And I might throw out a little update video as soon as our Prestige Edition gets here. But one of the major differences people look for is the Prestige Edition will upgrade to a seamless fiberglass roof skin as opposed to the more traditional petroleum-based roof skin that we have on the top of this here. So, you know, they both have seals around things like your air conditioners that you have to maintain. The idea behind the fiberglass is you're not going to get that chalking and the black streaks or anything like that, but you're also paying the premium for it. So if you're willing to put in, again, a pretty simple level of maintenance into these things, you can save a lot and not have to go that way. But the Prestige Edition does look pretty darn sharp because it has a forced full body paint, whereas this is the standard package right here. So there's different options either way. Kind of like the interior decor in this, I think it was called chiffon. You know, you can't just call it chiffon. You have to say it in that real snooty BBC voice, that chiffon. You know, that's the name of the decor. Anyway, I do like the really big footboards on here. Getting in and out is very simple, and they put the extended mirrors on this to see around it. This chassis, I can't say enough, it's one of the best riding chassis I've ever experienced personally in my career. I'm a big fan of it. Now for structure, we've got Jayco's vacuum laminated system all the way around, including their vacuum laminated slide walls right here. And one of the benefits, pardon me Mr. Brad, one of the benefits of the 24K model as compared to the 24L is this has a significant amount of exterior storage that the 24L does not, but the 24L has a bigger living feel inside. That's kind of the 50-50. We're doing a quick gas drop test to make sure you don't have any propane leaks right now, because, you know, getting our customers killed is kind of a bad way to stay in business, so we actively try to avoid that, as you can imagine. But onboard propane system here. Quick little access to like all of our holding tank poles and all that. There's our generator exhaust. Right here, I do like the full like water dock station, and I love that they left you enough space in there. If you do want to keep like a tote with your sewer tanks and stuff right here, you can do that. But this is a neat little thing. That's not like a cheap plastic bin in here. That is a full like rolled steel formed area, bay, if you will. So it's just really rugged. It's going to hold up long term, especially considering right behind the tires, it is possible that road debris could come in contact with that. So they put something extra heavy duty rugged right there, so you don't have any like damage in that area. But this back here, right back here, is where this model really separates itself from the 24L. You know, the interior differences aside, it gives you this big full pass-through exterior storage bay, and I love how it's fully finished. They didn't leave any raw exposure in here, and that's I mean, outside storage is such a key thing. You can stuff a lot of totes and everything in there, and look at the industrial diamond plate flooring in here. They're not using that like, you know, car trunk felt stuff that holds moisture and it gets moldy and musty. They're not dealing with any of that. And again, those same rolled steel bays, they opened up every little nook and cranny and pocket they could on here. The let's see if I can back up enough to give you a good shot of this, but the rear bed slide on this, the slide system is self-adjusting, so when you are bouncing down the road, if it does get slightly jihad or something like that, which is a technical term by the way, jihad, I had to go to hillbilly camper school to learn that one. Anyway, the slide system will self-adjust itself to try to come back out square every time you open or close it all the way. Kind of neat. Now, something that we can't really see very well here is Jayco puts extra clearance lights up top and extra lights on the back for extra safety reasons, and they're all LED tail and marker lights. LED tail lights flash 5 milliseconds faster than incandescent bulbs. That's literally the blink of an eye. But at highway speeds, that can give the people behind you 5 feet or more of additional stopping time. 5 feet is enough to save an accident from happening on occasion. Now, most Jayco motorhomes are rated for 7,500 pound towing. This Mercedes chassis being a little bit smaller, everything being a little different, it is 3,800 pound rated. So I want to make sure people are clear on that and knowing what you can and cannot tow. Like you could put maybe a small enclosed trailer back here, or you know, your little chase car, but you're not going to have the big, you know, Dodge half ton or anything set in true neutral behind you. All of our baggage doors are compression latches, which is a little different from a slam latch, by the way. Compression latches, you can get away sometimes with just jackhammering them closed, but what they're made for is kind of push them like this, pull in, and then just release. You sort of just push on it in here, and that's the key. It's a compression latch, not a slam latch. Slightly different thing. The generator here, 3600 Onan. Now, propane is standard. They have a diesel upgrade. So why do they have a diesel engine and a propane generator? That's a super common question. And the answer is because these little Melbournes are something that people will often tend to use casually. They will sit for extended periods between use, and you can let a propane generator sit as long as you want, and it's just not going to foul up. You know, a diesel generator, it requires like constant little preventative maintenance and things like that. You want to occasionally burn it, run it, etc. You don't really have as much of that to do here, so it's a little more of a hands-off, easy convenience thing. And some people say, yeah, but I want diesel so that I have one fuel source. And I understand that, but remember that your furnace, your stove, your oven, your refrigerator, all of those things can operate on propane too. So you're still really always a dual fuel source. That's something a lot of folks don't consider. The other thing is that diesel generator, they get very, very few requests for them to actually put in. They have to be imported, I think, from China. I can't remember where. I know they're imported, but they're like $3,600 or whatever. They're very expensive for no actual improvement in function. If you really, really, really want a diesel generator, guys, we'll build you one with it. Our recommendation, though, is save a lot of money. You don't have, and he's quality testing that right now. I just heard him fire it up. Entry door here is a little bit different. Oh, listen to her purr. That just couldn't have been timed any better. So, hi, Mr. Norm. One of the things they do here, too, is they have this big window right in the door, and you see you got that privacy shade built right into it, so that if you, you want to close things off so that no one's peeking at you, you can. If you, want to have lots of nice light and make the interior feel real big, you can do that, too. So you see that we do everything here, guys. We try to educate you on the product. We try to make sure it's in good shape before you take it home. And we only do everything at Haylett RV. Hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, or motorhome swap outs, as it were, and a tow package or tow bar, whatever. You get the point. We kind of do a lot of things here at Haylett RV. So if that sounds attractive, give us a call. 800-256-5196. Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.